So go ahead and fill me in with anything that I would need to know.
Okay, so it's not for me, it's for my boss. They have 2 French bulldogs that will be 2 in September.
Okay.
And what they're looking for is like a board and train. Vera, who's the girl, is not potty trained, which is like a big issue. And then the issue with Tux, the boy, he's pretty aggressive towards other dogs on a leash. Like he pulls a lot. He also kind of bites a little at people, kids, anything that has like wheels and stuff. Yeah, and they're very they're terrible on leash, especially.
Okay, and then is Tux the one that has potty issues?
No, Vera, the girl, has potty issues. So Vera, I think her main concern is like potty issues. She's also like she pulls on the leash, but that's not the biggest. Tux has like behavioral issues.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so Tux aggressive to dogs. Has he ever gotten in a fight with a dog, or how does that work out? Well, what do you mean by aggressive to dogs?
I mean, he like barks, like lunges at them. We really have to like pull the leash. I mean, he's not like a big dog, so we never let him close enough, but he will bark a lot. And yeah.
Okay. Has he ever bitten a dog before?
Has he what?
Bitten a dog.
Not to my knowledge. I know that they were just on vacation. They said there was like this whole thing that happened with another dog, but they didn't explain it fully. So I don't think he bit another dog. But he's kind of like he kind of bites on us sometimes. Like,
and what does that look like?
Because he jumps up, like when you come and say hi, like he like jumps up and then he'll just kind of like grab your nose. And then sometimes like we've seen runners where like they're running and all of a sudden he like tries to grab their hand. It's not like really, really hard, but sometimes it breaks a little the skin.
Okay. All right. And Vera, how is she? She just, besides potty and pulling the leash, is she reactive too? Like she bark and everything?
She's reactive to dogs, but Vera's more in the sense of I would say like not the brightest puppy. Like I would say she's like a ditzy puppy. So she'll go to a dog, but I think she more wants to play with it. Like she's not like because she's so used to having Tux and wanting to play with Tux that when she sees another dog, she wants to play with the dog, or she gets afraid of it and kind of like stays behind.
Okay. Has Tux ever played with another dog besides Vera?
Yeah, they're staying right now. So they are staying with another dog. So but they're not, this is kind of like the first time that they're really hanging out with other dogs. Other times that we try to like have him be with another dog, it doesn't end well.
Oh, because he just can't get over that moment of barking and everything, right?
Yeah, he barks, he bothers them. Yeah, it's just like sometimes it's fine. Like last week, it was weird. He hung out with another dog and he was like totally fine for a while. Then he started barking a bit.
Okay. What else? Anything else I should know about Tux or Vera?
No, I mean, no. I would say that the family, okay, the other thing is it's a family and it was a little girl, so she's like 11. It was her birthday, like present. And her and Tux get into it a lot. And I think like they fight, like he's always like going after her. And I feel like she slightly tortures him a little. And in the sense of like just makes him go crazy. And that's what always like kind of brings up his like behavior of like jumping and barking and chasing kids, which I think is like a little bit of an issue. But other than that, I think it's like fine.
Okay. And who bothers Tux?
Audrey, so the daughter who's 11.
Oh, so she messes around with him and then he gets annoyed and then he does his all. Okay. I was getting confused because I thought Audrey was a dog at first, or I was like, okay. But Audrey's a person, right?
Audrey's a person, so she's like the like it's a family, and it's the daughter. One second, I have to go grab a tissue, but
yeah, no worries, no worries.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, it's pretty much, I'd say, the gist of it.
And what are and then actually 1 second. Are you Nora?
Yes.
Okay. And then what is the name of your boss?
So Lena Peterson.
And you fill out the consultation form, right?
I fill out, yeah.
Okay. And then her name is what again?
Lena, Lena, and the last name is Peterson, Petersen.
A-N or O-N?
En.
Oh, Peterson.
Petersen.
Cool. Does Lena, or what are Lena's goals for Tux and Vera?
So I would say, okay, I think the parents are very different. Lena's like a little, I think, nervous and apprehensive of letting the puppies stay somewhere, but she knows that they're dead. I would say her husband is really, for him, what's really important is the potty training for Vera. And then for Tux, it's his social behaviors with other dogs. Those I think are the two really main things that are important for them.
Okay. Do you know if they own a crate or a kennel?
Yeah, they do. They have 2 crates, but they've never done the crate training.
Okay. Yeah, that crate is definitely going to be a very important part of potty training for them. Mm-hmm. So, I let them know to, never get rid of that, and it'll be used for Vera as for continuing after the board and train. They need a crate. And Vera's 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they've always had potty issues?
Yeah, she has, Tux hasn't. So what happened was they had a French Bulldog before the 2 of these, and that one passed away because of lepto. Oh, wait, I think he just left. Mm-hmm. I also don't. It's like recording, and I'm just here by myself. Hello. What do you think? Apparently, it says I'm host now, so.
Hello?
Hi, yeah.
I'm not sure what happened. I just touched the laptop and it went black, and I touched it again, it came up, and I set it down and went black. But okay. I'm sorry about that.
This is what happened. So they had a puppy before, and the puppy got lepto. And so I think what happened was when Vera was little, they didn't want her to go outside until she had her shots because they didn't want to do the whole thing. And Vera was sick all the time. Like, she was really sick for the first couple of months. And so she was just going in the bathroom. It was really hard to potty train her after that because she had kind of gotten used to going in the house, and then it was just, a mess. Like I said, she's also not the brightest little puppy. Tux was really good. Tux, he does it occasionally, but he's not. I think it's more, I don't know. I mean, also we don't really know who's the culprit sometimes, but Tux is better, so that's not the issue.
Okay. And what about obedience? Are they looking for like, control, like, are they wanting recall or like, a walking command or like,
I don't think that that's like as important. It would be great for them to be better on leash because they do pull a lot and they're like all over the place. But no, I'll, that's not, I would say, the top priority or what they're looking for exactly.
Okay. And Lena, is she aware of like our training methods and everything?
Yes, yeah, she is. She saw the YouTube videos. I sent the website and all of that.
Oh, like the e-collars, prong collars, and all these other tools, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So Tux, I wouldn't say is aggressive. Just very overstimulated and very reactive.
Okay.
So like anything, it sounds like anything that's moving, he wants to kind of get at. You
Mhm.
amp him up, he starts to get really, frustrated and overstimulated. So like getting mouthy and everything, trying to release his frustration. The biting, the barking at dogs, points, reactivity. That's all it sounds like pretty much to me. I'm not hearing anything about like dog fights or anything. So I'm thinking it's just reactivity, and that he doesn't really have a job. Like he doesn't know what to do, and he's never settled, and he's just always like ready to go, like super like, because all dogs are reactive technically, right? So dogs don't think about past, present, future, or no, they don't think about past or future, right? They only think in the present. So if something happens, they react to it in the moment. They just can't help it. Tux is to the state where he just needs to like kind of do like a whole thing where like he's barking, and wanting to bite at people's hands and everything like that, because it's a moving thing. So like when dogs like attack like wheels, that's a very common thing, and it's very easy to address that.
Okay.
Is Tux? You're wanting him to kind of learn to socialize with dogs.
Yeah. Definitely.
Has Tux ever been in like a dog? Has Tux ever been to like a dog park or anything like that?
No.
No. Okay. And he's only pretty much socialized with Vera and this other dog he's currently with, right?
Yeah.
And how did Tux meet this other dog?
Because they're dog sitting. Well, dog sitting Tux and Vera right now, and the people have a dog, so that's why they have to like stay in their house.
Oh no, yeah. Well, how did they meet? Like what was the introduction like? Did they just like whatever or?
I have no idea. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how it went.
All right. What else?
Mm-hmm.
So then she was looking for a board and train, right? You said?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know, because we would obviously, the reactivity and like the leash pulling kind of go together. So we would have to teach Tux how to walk in a leash. Our style, or first actually, I'll talk about e-collar. So e-collar, have you ever been to a physical therapist?
Yes.
Have you ever had a TENS unit or like stim?
No.
So it's like a little machine that they put on like a torn muscle that sends like a stim or it's like a TENS unit. So like it contracts the muscle and like massages like torn muscle or anything like that. It's also like in those commercials, like when the guys are like, get a 6-pack overnight and like it's supposed to like massage your abs and like you get a 6-pack or whatever. I'm not sure, but that's also where it's like connected to. So for physical therapy, the therapist would ask the client, let me know when it's too high as it increases the number for the massage or like for the process to kind of work. Client goes, okay, that's enough as they increase the number. Then the therapist goes, okay, I'm going to lower 2 levels down and I'll let the machine do its work. So that same process is very similar to dog training. E-collar is basically a TENS unit on a collar, right? It's just a muscle contractor. Jesse likes to call the e-collar electric but not electricity. So when you press a button, right, it's not something that's flowing through your dog's body. The e-collar has 2 contact points, and these 2 contact points are touching like an area on the neck, right? So whatever area it's touching is what it's going to contract. So if I had it on my hand and I started increasing the number higher and higher, higher, soon enough, you'll start to see my thumb start to like move or like twitch. So that's e-collar, that same technology. It's used on humans. So like there's other models and brands out there that maybe still have like the old style like shock, right, where it's like it shocks you. Our brand is called Doctra, and I'll have a follow-up email with all this information as well, just heads up. It's Doctra. Our brand has 127 levels, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way to 127. There are other brands out there that maybe go up to 10. So think of 10, the power outage of 10 equal to 127. We just have so many more numbers to be more specific to the dog, the breed, the behavior we're kind of dealing with, or like anything like that. We can be more specific. So if you're on the 10 level e-collar, 5 maybe is getting Vera or Tux to start yelping. So it's too much. A 4, they don't care. So it's too little. So if that was happening to us, 40 is too low, 50 is too high, we can go to 45 or 42 or 43. You know, we can be very specific to the dog. So for Tux, it'd be teaching him the heel command, which is walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. It's the command that is going to allow him to understand the concept of the pressure on, pressure off, and how e-collar works, and that he's the one in control of when it goes off and when it turns on and off, right? So our style of heel, again, is walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. So if we take 5 steps with Tux, Tux takes 5 steps. If we take 10, Tux takes 10. And if we come to a stop, he's to automatically sit with no words said, with a loose leash in any environment on one side of our body. So it sounds very strict. It's an obedience command, right? But the idea behind it is that since this command is so strict, and it's the walking command, so that he's in this command every time we're walking. If not, that's another command. But if he's in this command, he shouldn't care about anything else, because he's more worried about having his right shoulder parallel to the owner's left leg and being here, right? Because if he makes a mistake, he's going to get corrected for it, right? So he's gonna be like, okay, I need to focus on mom or dad, whoever's I'm walking, right? With this, the reactivity spectrum pretty much goes like humans go away first, right? Just if there's any reactivity towards humans, that goes away. And then it goes like calm dogs, and then it goes like joggers, bikes, and rollerblades, all these things, and then reactive dogs, and then like you turn a corner as a dog. That's how it kind of goes, right? And there could be some instances where we just kind of, maybe joggers just go away because we're, it happens where we don't need to address, there's a behavior said, right? Once we start training, that behavior just goes away and we never need to kind of directly address it. But that's how it would go. And then, with the board and train program, Tux and Vera would learn heel, stay, sit, down, place, and come when called. Those 6 commands with e-collar. Everything is recorded. So they're seeing the moment we put the e-collar on Tux and Vera in a video, they're learning all these commands. Once all the videos are done and compiled into one, they get that video and they watch and see how they're taking e-collar and all these other things. Any questions so far? No. Do you know how long they were planning on wanting to board and train?
How long do you think that they need is the question. They're open. They're kind of renovating their kitchen, so the dogs are kind of moving around right now. So it'd be nice to just do it now, as we don't really have a place to stay in August. But I don't know how long do you think that they're needed to stay in board and train. It's a good time.
You know if Tux is muscle conditioned?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
that mean? I don't.
Say that again. Sorry.
Does that mean? I don't.
What do you mean?
What muscle condition? What is that?
Oh, muzzle.
Oh, muzzle.
Never-
Oh, no, he's never. Oh, no.
Oh, muscle condition.
I heard.
Well, I don't know what.
It's like,
I don't even know what muscle.
like, what?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Muzzle condition, just in case. There's a fly in here. Just in case, like, you know, in case he has a moment, or like if we find out that maybe he's like, you know, so frustrated that he, you know, as we did the training, because e-collar is a stressor, right? No one, and it's, you know, no one likes getting disciplined. So sometimes when dogs are, you know, not liking it, they can, you know, kind of fight back, or like, you know, like redirect their frustration. So if he has a tendency of kind of like using his mouth to bite others when he's frustrated, or if there's a high energy or stuff, things like this, we'll take the precautions. But I mean, he is, I mean, he's just a Frenchie. How much does he weigh? Do you know?
I don't know.
Is he?
Like he's not big. He's just muscly, but I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. How about Vera?
She's like tinier than him, but I don't know.
Tiny.
Probably around like, I think probably around 20 pounds, right? Does that sound too much? It doesn't. I think that's about, I don't know. I would be guessing.
Okay. Yeah, because I was just looking at, you know, your type form again. I'm seeing human aggression, but I'm not really getting any human aggression. It's just like when he's frustrated and things like that. Not actively.
That sounds about right, though, that his frustration, and then he does that. So.
What happens when like a guest walks in the home and he's there?
Oh, he loves people. Like he'll just jump, but he jumps up at them, and like that's his thing. He'll like kind of jump, and then every once in a while he kind of like snaps at people, but he's usually just like super happy when anyone walks in.
Okay. Yeah, it might not be an issue. I'm not sure. I'll let you know in the follow-up email if that's something we're needing. But if you are wanting us to socialize him, that's where like the muzzle might be necessary. Does that make sense? Just in case, you know, he has a moment, we have that muzzle to kind of fall back to, because Frenchies have a different muzzle they need to wear. It kind of looks like it's basically like a mask, because they have such they have like a different,
so flat.
Yeah, they don't have like a nose. So I'll send you a link, maybe a picture of what it looks like. It's like a mask with like holes here and a hole right here, but like the mask kind of goes like out a little bit, so like the mouth wouldn't affect it. It looks really goofy, but that's like what they have for Frenchies. So that might be necessary. So if that's the case, they would need to start muzzle conditioning him as soon as possible. So that is just like a YouTube video they can look up, you know, how to muzzle condition a dog, and like, you know, using food and treats to get that dog used to the muzzle. So that would need to be done as soon as possible, even like before training, just getting that done, so that by the time we need that muzzle, Tux is already kind of used to it. Because then if we're socializing him, unless he's not liking the dog, or like the dog stresses him out, dog is one stressor, e-collar is another stressor, the muzzle is another stressor. So that's 3 stressors. So there's going to be a lot of you know, it's going to be stressful, right? So if we can kind of get one, like the muzzle and the e-collar, by then should be a, you know, second, you know, he'll know what it is. But if we can get that muzzle also a little bit like acclimated with him before the boarding program, that'd be great as well. We can also continue the muzzle conditioning with him here if needed. So for his meals, we'll be using that for the muzzle. For the socialization, if that's what they're, you know, looking for. What else? But I mean, if, you know, I haven't heard any, I don't know how he is with dogs, like, you know, socializing, except this one dog that he kind of just is cool with, or I don't know if they're doing certain things like, like Tux is not with this other dog, or I don't know if
They're all together in the house, but I'll say that like I hung out with the puppies today, and I don't think they're liking being with this dog. They seem very like upset about the situation, but they're fine. But I can see that he's like, it was very sad. He doesn't seem like he's enjoying his life there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Do you have any questions so far
Um,
about like how long he'll be here? He would need to be.
it would be. Do you think it's like play it by ear kind of thing to even for what about for Vera for potty training or helping her crate training? Is that something you guys can do? Is that going to take a while? Or
Oh, is Vera is how is Vera in the crate or in the kennel?
she's fine. She's
Okay.
fine. She's not like a barker unless she's like trying to get her ball. So she's fine in the crate.
Okay. And then how about Tux?
Tux is like not like he's like upset when he's in a crate. Like not upset, but he barks a lot. But I think it's because he like doesn't want to be in. He doesn't like to be in like a confined space.
Okay. Does he try to break out or no?
No, he doesn't try. I mean, he like bite the cage ish a little. Is that breaking out? I don't know, but yeah. But he doesn't try to like really get out. He just tries to get. I think he barks so that if he knows someone is around, he wants us to like come and get him out of it.
I see. Okay. So yeah, the board and train would cover the commands. We go over, socializing, kind of controlling him, and giving you a tool to kind of settle him. Do you know what they currently walk the dogs on right now, like harnesses or like a collar?
It's a harness.
Okay, yeah. So they would want to
Do
not use the harness because harnesses promote pulling. Right? So harnesses are used for huskies and protection training. So protection training, a handler will have a dog on the harness, they pull back and release, they pull back and release, and then that's frustrating for a dog. So this, when they're pulling back on this right here, it's negative pressure. So, and they also, dogs have a thing called opposition reflex. So if I pull back, they want to go forward. If I pull left, they go right. If I pull right, they want to go left. And the same thing, if I pull forward, they want to go back. So when we pull back and they want to go forward and we let them, and then we pull back and we let them for protection training, we are creating frustration. And once we have created enough frustration that it can, sometimes turn to aggression, we let the dog go and they go bite the person in like the suit and they retrain protection. So sometimes owners can unintentionally start creating a protection dog when they start putting harnesses on their puppy. So, and if we're using that for e-collar training, it's going to be very difficult because one tool is telling them to pull, and then the other tool is telling them to not pull. So then they're going to be very confused on what to do in that scenario. So if they can find a collar that is not the snap one, not like the buckle where you snap it, because those break. We have a lot of incidents where those just snap off if they're pulling or like if something happens. But getting the ones that actually go through the loop and then you buckle them and then it goes to the other, like a belt. So anything like that would be helpful. If not, we have some here, but for them to kind of practice and everything, continue things going on, they would need that. So the board and train programs. I just had it here. Sorry. We have the 2-week program, 4 hours of follow-up. So after that program or in the middle, whenever they'd like, we can schedule a lesson for either an hour and a half, or however they want to use their time, so that we can transfer everything the dogs know to the owners. They get 2 videos that are roughly an hour long each. And then the dogs are worked to 4 to 6 hours a day at minimum. We have the 3-week program as well. 6 hours of follow-up and 3 videos. I would get back to you on like what I recommend, but it most likely be like the 2-week or 3-week program for you for the dogs. The 4-week is like if you want like off leash obedience, which I'm not picking yet. You're just kind of just getting like the behavior stuff. So if I feel like if your focus is the behavior, it might just be the 2-week. But I need to see how potty train works. If we need like a 3-week or a 2-week, I think the 2-week would be fine. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that on a follow-up email. What else? And like I said, they can schedule the follow-ups whenever they want in the middle of the program or after. And these follow-ups are hosted at Oz Park. Are you familiar with Oz Park?
Yes.
Yeah, so everything is there, like bikes, scooters, rollerblades, off-leash dogs, joggers, left and right, and just everything is there. So our follow-up will be there just to see if how they handle the situation if Tux were to have a moment there at the parks. What else? Any questions? If any questions?
No. And this would be, and I know I messaged to make sure you guys have availability for the beginning of August, right?
I believe we do. I'm not sure right now. We're getting a lot of boarding trains because I'm assuming with COVID, since everything's kind of going back to normal, everyone's like leaving, going out of town and like boarding their dog and everything. Beginning of August. Looks like we'll be booked. I'll get back to you on that in the follow-up email. Do you know the specific dates or just like the beginning, like early August?
Early August. I mean, yeah. So what's that? Probably August 2nd, and then if it's 2 weeks until the 13th. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
I'll send you because I'm gonna send you a follow-up email after this consultation, talking about the programs we talked about, the e-collar I recommend for the 2, and we also sell them. So since you're doing the board and trains and like the board and train the daycare clients, since they're gonna be here anyways, we have the collars here, so we can just we have them here, and then you can just buy it from us. It's the same price as like Amazon or whatever you want, but you're also more than welcome to purchase through Amazon so they can fiddle around with it, try it out, not on their dog, but just like, if they want to feel it and like, it gives them comfort, like how it feels before they just send their dog and like, I don't even know how the e-collar feels, things like that. So I'll send you an Amazon link, and then a question just saying if you want to purchase from us, let us know. And what else? An agreement form, and this form will have again an agreement on it, like some questions and everything, and just like liability thing, and then a form where you need to have Tux and Vera's vaccinations turned in. So we have a list of vaccinations we need, certain shots we need, and then a fecal test that says negative. Once all that information is filled out and they've signed the agreement, we can go ahead and begin billing and booking. And then that should be all that will happen after this. It's just depending on like when you guys are ready and when we get all that information, Anything else?
No.
Some common questions about e-collars, like after training, after the program, will Tux and Vera be wearing these e-collars all the time, or are these e-collars only worn for the board and training program, and are they done with it, or how does that work? So it's on when you need it. So if you're going to go for a walk with the two, right, it'd be on. Just because we can't predict what's going to happen in this walk. So let's say we're walking with Tux, and like we see a bike coming, and he's been fine with bikes, but for some reason he's getting amped up. You have that tool to bring it back down. Or let's say a car is you walking on a busy street, and like a car crash happens, right? And then the dogs get freaked out, and like it catches you off guard, and then they end up like running away, and the leash slips out your hand, and they're just gone. Right, you have that e-collar to kind of bring them back to you and override the brain. Because when dogs are running away from something, or it's called flight mode, because when dogs are in flight mode from something like that, they're thinking kill or be killed. So Tux Calm, Vera Calm is not going to make them want to come back if they're running for their lives. So you need the e-collar to kind of override the brain in that moment to bring it back to you. Now let's say Tux and Vera are sweethearts in the home. They don't need to wear it then. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
My dogs and Jesse's dogs and Andy's dog, the trainers here, we have the e-collar on still on our walks, right? But we press the button maybe like once a month maybe, or even fewer than that. It's just there for emergencies like that, those cases, right? In the beginning, they're going to be pressing the button a lot just because it's the beginning of the training, But after a while, they shouldn't be pressing it a whole bunch. It should just be like here and there if something different happens on this walk. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. And like when guests come over, they call them up 30 minutes prior, address whatever that is needing to be addressed. And if you find that after that Tux is pretty much settled throughout the night, then you can take it off. If it makes them feel comfortable just to have it on when guests are in their home, they can do that as well. There's nothing wrong with that. What else? Since you have the two dogs, they might want to get a system where it's one remote and two collars, right? The issue would be that since they're both sounds like they're both pretty different dogs, like personality-wise, that let's say, because remember how I said our calls have 127 numbers, right? I don't know what Tux's number will be or Vera's number. A lot of owners will say, oh, my dog's soft, she'll be low numbers, right? But then they end up being high numbers. Or my dog's tough, he's going to be high up there, and then they're low numbers. So it's always different, right? So if Tux ends up being high and always needing to be high, and then Vera's like a low number girl, it's going to be a lot of dialing low, dialing up, dialing down, dialing up, a lot of dialing going back and forth through numbers. And it's going to be a little difficult for the owners in that scenario, that situation. So I'll have to see if they would want to do a collar for a remote for each dog, just so it's easier. Or there is another system out there where I think it has like two knobs and two screens, and the numbers are separate for them. It's a little bulkier remote, but it'd be, I find, a lot easier for them to kind of work the dogs. But I'll have to see, because it should work out. Because a client is using it now, and I think they're doing great with it. But I'll have to see how that would work out. But that's just a heads up. I'll include that in the email as well. For that, what else? Did you know if Lena had any thoughts or any other questions, or because you said she was just concerned about just leaving her dogs here
for a little bit, but I know her husband John's like just they need professional intervention. So anytime that is like needed to correct the behaviors is fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how did you guys hear about us? Or is just like you just looked us up?
Google.
I got you. Okay. Trying to think if I'm missing anything. So the muzzle, because the potty training, the crate's gonna be very important because we need a negative and positive for potty training, right? Mm-hmm. So that's gonna be there for that. Vera, do you know if Vera's been social? Like you said she's social, right? Yeah, you said
she's better. Yeah, she's definitely she's better with dogs. The only thing is she gets a little like more playful.
Mhm.
And then if they're not, because she's used to like kind of play with Chucks, that would be the only time. And then sometimes she's actually just scared if the dog's too big.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
If it's like a
Cool.
big dog, then she's a little scared. Mhm.
All right. Do you have any other questions?
And then so the muzzle training, is there anything that they would need? So you said the collar would like they need food for the 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, so for the 2 weeks, food, any medications if necessary, and then we're not accepting blankets or toys at the moment because they always get mixed up. Or if we put a blanket in their crate, they end up tearing it up, right? And it's not like,
Mhm.
we'll hear that it's just because in a new environment, they tend to do different things here than they do at home. So
Yeah.
then a dog that's never chewed up their bed happened to chew their bed at one boarding night, and it kept, we just stopped it all because we don't want dogs ingesting things, and
Mhm.
then we have to take them to the vet, and we have to deal with that. So we're only accepting food, leashes, the collars, medications if necessary. Um,
And treats, or do you guys take care of that?
we have treats here. If they don't have any allergies, we can use treats, or we can also include like high value food like lunch meat or something like that. As long as they don't have any allergies, we can use other things. If needed to improve training, or if something's not flowing right and we need more positive in the balance training, we have that option if they don't have allergies. What else? Any other questions?
No, I think that's about it.
So keep an eye out for that follow-up email,
Mhm.
and then we can go from there. If any questions come up from them, feel free to email me and I'll answer any questions they have. But other than that, I think that's all. And where are you located? Are you in Chicago?
Yeah, in Chicago. So it's like North Center, Lincoln Square area.
Okay, cool. And then like have they ever been to a daycare before, or has it just been like, okay,
No, you know,
awesome.
COVID, so everyone home.
Alrighty, sounds good. Any other question before we end it?
I think we got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and this doesn't sound anything out of the ordinary. This is kind of our normal thing, right? Dog, like the behavior issues and all these other things. So it's nothing more normal. It's just needing discipline and structure for Tux, and then Vera. She will be getting that obedience as well in her stay, and we'll also be potty training her. So she'll be put on a schedule, and that schedule will be needing to go to the owners, and then continuing to do that potty schedule for her, because for potties we need to go back to the basics for her, like what puppies are going to be doing. So she'll be back to the basics for potty training. When I said positive and negative, there's going to be maybe times where she has an accident in her crate, right? If that happens, just we're going to, probably be bathing her a lot, because we need the negative. We need her to make the accident and have her be like, I hate this. I hate having accidents in the crate. And then we were teaching her to like hold it for a longer period of time. So she's going to have it's normal to have accidents because once she isn't potty trained, so she's probably already having accidents, but then she'll be maybe a mess here and there, but we'll bathe them and everything. But that's just a heads up. What else? And I think that is all. We'll also teach them how to walk on a treadmill, just a heads up, so they'll be good at that. Anything else?
Vera has such bad legs. She's such like a badly.
No, yeah, for Frenchies, yeah. Frenchies are different because once they breathe differently, and then Vera used to has bad legs, so we'll take it slow and everything. Is there any other health issues they have? Because I know Vera, you said she was sick for a little bit. Is there anything that carried over?
Yeah.
Or?
she was sick. I'm bringing her to the vet for her like annual and all the vaccines, but she's like fine. I don't even know what she had, but she's a lot better now, and they're
Okay.
not on like any medication. But like she's just, you know, French bulldogs I wouldn't say are the bestly made ones, but I think she's just like I'm bad. Like she like can't really sit down. Like her legs just like don't work properly. It's kind of,
Oh, I see. Okay, so she
I
can't
don't know.
sit really well, or
She will sit. I've taught both of them to like sit, and you know they can sit, lay, and give a paw, but like she just like wobbles a little. It's fine.
okay. Okay.
Wait,
All right. Cool.
Hmm?
So yeah, keep an eye out for that follow-up email, and then we'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.